Ladies and gentlemen of planet Earth and beyond, stick around. We're going to talk about some mummies in Peru. You don't want to miss this one. Ladies and gentlemen of planet Earth and beyond, welcome to another exciting episode of Talk is Cheap, where cheap is talk and talk is cheap. My name's Pete Halbleib, happy to be with you here tonight, and to my right, as always,
Dan Hohlfeld. Yeah.
The mastermind behind Talk is Cheap. Dan, you have been so busy lately.
All the controls here. One for all the scenes, folks, and then another one for the camera switching. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
If you remember previous episodes, he used to let me play with that stuff.
I did, and then I realized, like, sometimes things don't work right.
Oh, yeah, and you do a great job with it, and you're obviously reached expert level on it, so I'm happy.
It's a big chore to, like, do this, try to engage in conversation, throw some...
It's all happening.
Yeah, and you know, finding the right button to hit when, but no, I'm glad it frees up me and my hands to, you know, keep my thirst quenched in my really fashionable and handy K2D4 network mug.
Oh, yes.
So that's great.
I got one here for the Chalk is Cheap, folks.
Yeah, that one's cool too. There, you know, Dan, you've got a lot of merchandise available. I know we know it's a little pricey, but we go that way so we can kind of reduce our inventory or keep our inventory and overhead low, so we're not sitting on you know, tens of thousands of T-shirts waiting for you. But everything that I've seen and that I've ordered as far as merchandise is all high quality stuff.
Awesome stuff.
It is. It's definitely not a cheap T-shirt. It's definitely not a cheap mug. It's super cool stuff. So I'd encourage everybody, you know, could help support the network. More importantly, you can help spread the word, right? We need to get some folks thinking, some more critical thinkers out there, get some people woken up for us, and start asking some questions about, hey, what the heck is going on in this world? Let's get some answers.
Absolutely. And next week, I'm going to put this. Oh, no, actually, this is on. It'll be on the. We're filming this ahead of time, folks. This is in the store right now.
Oh, awesome. That's a new edition.
It's the final edition.
It's the final edition. Thank you. The final updated cell phone cover.
It passed a QA.
Yep, that's important.
And like I said, when you look at the picture on the site, it looks kind of like whatever. But when you get this in person, it's glossy. It's nice. It's like a nice solid case.
It looks like it. And now, is it available for all types of phone or only
Galaxy and then iPhones?
And then iPhones. Yes. Okay, awesome.
So yeah,
I don't
let people know that. Put your money where your mouth is, because talk is cheap.
That's right. That's awesome. And that does look pretty nice. Just sitting over here, I'm kind of envious of it. So.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a Galaxy?
I don't know.
This is just a phone.
Yeah, it's just a phone.
I think it had the. No, I don't think so. It's a Samsung though. I don't know Samsungs that well.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. It's a phone. It lets me make calls, and I can surf the web if I want to. I made an online payment the other day. I'm coming along. Yeah, I'm like a regular 21st century digital boy.
Well, we'll see.
If you're a Bad Religion fan at all.
It's a bad religion from a broken nation.
Okay, I don't think that was necessarily Bad Religion, but Godsmack, Bad Religion, you know. Okay.
Oh, you're topping yourself off there. We're getting off to a good start.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was contending with my beverage over here, folks. I apologize. So Dan, you know, again, we're missing Dusty. Typically, this is a topic that Dusty covers. You know, we kind of rotate through, and he was up for tonight. Unfortunately, work called. You know, we just talked about merchandise, man. If you buy a lot, Dusty doesn't have to work. He doesn't have work conflicts anymore. So, you know, open your wallets. We can get Dusty in here more often. But anyway, so we.
What's in your wallet?
Yes.
So
stop whining.
Okay, we're way off the chart.
Yeah, Dan's having some fun. That's okay, because you know what? Dan and I spent a few minutes, well, more than a few minutes. We spent a decent portion of this evening
definitely
looking into a topic that personally I flip-flopped on. When I first heard about it, I thought it was super interesting, and then all of a sudden there's this big flood of, oh, it's fake, debunked, and then a little pushback and back and forth. So now I'm back on the fence a little bit. There's some compelling arguments on both sides, but some recent announcements, as well as the scale of which they took them, kind of makes me start thinking a little differently now.
Yeah, so this is, how do you say that, Nazca?
Nazca, yeah. We're familiar with the Nazca lines, right? The ley lines that go across the planet, and all sorts of weird stuff happens, you know, with that. And so these particular mummies were found along the Nazca lines. A hidden image there, and it'll jog some memories out there in internet
For
land.
folks wondering, yeah, these guys.
Yep, so that's pretty cool. I think we talked about that many years ago now. We did an episode on that one. So anyway, lots of weird stuff going on in Peru, and this is no exception, Daniel.
Absolutely not. So this topic was submitted by Stephen Marvin via Twitter.
Ooh.
He got a hold of me on Twitter. He said, do this. I think it was, I want to say it was probably pushing a year ago.
Okay, already.
So I just left it in the bank, and it sat there. And
said,
all right,
finally,
said, we'll do it.
Yeah, we got it. All right, Steve, Marvin, so new stuff since this has been submitted. So that's kind of exciting. This has not gone away in the world of the internet. Maybe the mainstream media has left it alone, but you know how the mainstream media is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let's, should we watch a video, you think, about this?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with a video here.
This is Yami-Musan, one of my...
So I guess a real quick backstory. I think it was 2015. Some archaeologists found 5 mummified remains of what they did not think looked like humans. And I'll leave it at that, and then we can go.
Sounds good. Let's watch this.
Apparently, the body of a baby with the same characteristics according to the first analysis could be related. However, now it is necessary to perform a DNA test to be able to determine the relationship between the two. Those are 2 bodies, and there are 3 of which seem to have characteristics that are closer to reptiles than humans. That is, we have 5 bodies.
5 bodies. 3 of them looked more reptilian than human.
They like using the word reptilian, I know that.
Yeah, interesting, huh?
I kind of wonder why they say reptilian, though. Because I hate ads when they got to keep...
Yeah, when they ding you like that, well, that's how they get their money. So.
But reptilian, like, did they think they had scales or something?
Yeah, I think it was more just,
scales.
you know, like the digit counts, length of the fingers, toes, and stuff like that. Nothing struck me as overly reptilian with that. What I found very interesting right away in that photo that they showed, it looked like your standard, like, alien head, but only mummified.
Yeah, maybe we should show some Google images.
Yeah. So here's a picture of one of the mummies.
And it looks kind of like that if you had the plaster from your walls or whatever.
Yeah, that was plaster of Paris or like spackle or whatever you want to call it. There's some people that were claiming that that's all it was just a very intricate spackling. But they did do imaging of it and MRIs and all of this other X-ray stuff, so which proved it wasn't just a sculpture, if you will.
Yeah, and the 3 fingers, which is very...
Yeah, unique and interesting there. So, of course, you know, Dan, with a discovery, and I'll air quotes discovery here, of something like this, it obviously was not well received in certain circles, and it seemed the skeptics came out of the woodwork for it to come up and offer their thoughts on why it wasn't. Now, of course, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof and extraordinary evidence, but this has garnered a lot of attention in the Southern Hemisphere in South America.
Yeah, so you want to play the debunking one or sure? There?
Yeah, we came across some joker that was blowing a lot of smoke. Let's take a look at that video.
mummy was discovered in Peru, and they've been sharing a video that talks about this supposed alien mummy. Now, the video itself, which is produced by a group called Gaia or Gia, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, the video itself doesn't claim that it's an alien. What they have claimed is that they're not sure that it's a human, and they're going to do genetic testing to find out. Now, there is very good reason to believe that this is, in fact, a mummy, but it is not an alien. This is definitely a human mummy modified by some people who are trying to play a joke. Now, I'm not saying that it's the people at Gaia that modified this mummy, but someone did, and they're having a good laugh about it. To make the alien-looking hands and feet, what they did is they took the hand and they cut off the pinky finger and they cut off the thumb. And then this meat in between the fingers, you have these bones here, these hand bones that are called metacarpals, and they actually look like finger bones. You can actually see this very clearly when we look at photographs of other mummies that have not been mutilated. But what they did is they took a knife and they just sliced right between the fingers, right down the middle.
Do you have any proof that demonstrates that? Okay, continue. He's speculating. Pretty confident in himself there.
He knows definitely. I guess he's case closed. It's all done.
Yeah, right? some guy on the internet's telling us as we're two guys on the internet.
Well, we're just open to possibilities. And we never say it's one way or the other. Yeah. He's saying definitely.
Yeah, he's
not real.
very assured and saying, yeah, this is how they did it. How does he know?
Right.
That's my big
thing.
Down
to the actual wrist bones down here. The other really interesting thing about this mummy is the shape of the skull. It's got kind of a cone, which makes it look sort of alien-like. This mummy was found in Peru. What people in Peru used to do is a practice called
another one of the
board formation. The Chinook Native Americans here in the Northwest also used to do this. So that modification, the skull modification, was not done by...
they were doing that to kind of reflect... what do I want to say? Mimic the gods that they were interacting with. So anyway, okay. Sorry, bud.
Jokesters. That was done by the parents of this person when he was a baby. That person who is now a mummy. The third thing that's mentioned in the video that's strange about this mummy is the ears and nose. There's just holes where the ears and nose should be. That's actually really normal for mummies. These mummies are from Mexico. This group of people died in 1833
I can see a freaking ear on that one right there.
Cholera outbreak. It's very common for their noses to look abnormally small and for their ears to either be missing or just really shriveled up. In the video, they actually go through and they have this 3D graphic of the thing. In this graphic, they lay out the proportions of the skeleton. This guy or gal was roughly 5'6", and all the body proportions are normal for a human. If you look at the actual numbers, they're just...
So right there, so because it's a human, it's like it doesn't necessarily have to be that.
Yeah, the proportions are normal for human. Well, you know what? So are like a lot of aliens' proportions are kind of normal to humans. So... okay.
The only thing that's weird is the fingers, and that's because they're measuring the fingers from where it was cut down to the tips of the fingers instead of where the actual fingers go. So there you have it. This is
I want to take a look at...
Can I look at another? That would be awesome if
he's going to bet his life on it.
Oh, that's right.
We got to see this.
It's just a classic freak show hoax. If you want to learn more about DNA, they say that they're going to be doing DNA testing on this creature.
Which
here
they
on
do.
This
We'll
YouTube channel,
get into that in a second.
I have
Let's
a video
jump ahead
called
here, folks. Because his video is a little long here. Here's going to bet the light. He's going to bet the farm on it.
Yeah, he's betting the farm.
And if the researchers can prove this so well that the National Academy of Sciences accepts that this is an alien, I, Jonathan Dwayne Perry, Scout's Honor, hereby promise to take all of my money. That's all of my money in my bank accounts, everything on PayPal, all the change in my car. I will donate all of my money to archaeological research in Peru for the people of Gaia who made this video. This is the award that I got from YouTube for
Science
stated clearly.
Let me see if that's this channel, because that was the other issue, folks. Okay, so his channel must have got pulled because he got this award for 100,000, and now I'm looking, he's only got 12K. So either they pulled it or he decided to start another one. I'm gonna have to click. I'll click on his main channel after we finish this video.
Yeah, that was weird that he said that. And apparently he got some... Science stated clearly was his
YouTube channel. And then it says congratulations to 100,000 subscribers, which he does not have on this channel, but we'll check that.
Reaching
in a bit.
over 100,000 subscribers. I will give my YouTube channel to you. You will inherit my YouTube channel and all 100,000 of my viewers. I am so convinced that this is not an
That one
alien.
said stated
If it
clearly.
is, all of them will be yours. Furthermore, this t-shirt that I'm wearing, it's my favorite t-shirt. It's my smart...
Okay, he goes on and on. We don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
He's pretty confident that he's right. And he said, I've got 100,000 subscribers. He's going to give away all his money in his YouTube. But, you know, his qualifier was, what was it, the National Safety or Science Institute or whatever. It needs to validate it.
okay, so he does have another. I went to his main channel and then I clicked through on the other channels on the right side. He does have another channel here.
Oh, he's kind of a
and
big swinger there. 242,000 subscribers.
That's pretty good.
Yes, it is.
I'll give him that. 11K, 6K. Oh, yeah. He's making decent money. Let's just say that.
Yeah, good for him.
So, should we get into the...
Okay, I want to take another look at those hands. Can you he claimed that these fingers were cut down through the metatarsals, okay? 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is the long one. 1, 2. I'm just doing a quick count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I count 5 or more joints on that.
Where are you counting at here?
I do have a pointer. Can I see it? Yeah. Let me draw the pointer.
Let me let's try this. No, never mind.
Okay.
It's gonna be too much.
All right. I'm gonna count. I'm looking here. I see one joint here. Right?
Okay.
Here's your second joint.
We're on the middle finger for those listening on the
Yep.
podcast.
Here's the middle joint. There's 2. Here's the third joint. Now here's the fourth joint that he claims is your metatarsal. And now there's a 5th joint back here that should be part of your wrist, according to his
right.
According to his assumption. I mean, look at your own hand, and the first joint's small. So here's 1. Let's count this one. I'll count this one as 2. It almost looks like there might be another one in there. 3, 4, and then you've got 5, kind of a little one over there. I don't know. I don't think the joint count matches up there, Sport. That's just me. I'd like to hear some thoughts in the comments. Am I way off on that? Am I miscounting?
So he's basically saying that this whole thing is cut down like way up here. So you're...
Yeah, and it's cut down to your wrist, but there's no joint in the middle of your hand. So we should only have 1, 2, 3, 4 joints before it hits your wrist bones. And I'm counting 5 joints on that. Here. There we go. There. Oh, there's a little delay here. Okay, so got 1, 2, 3, and then your metatarsals, your 4th. Okay, so
to get that down, you'd be doing some sawing.
Yeah,
and therefore, you probably really wouldn't get that. I mean, I guess you could take tools and buff it out or whatever to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but there's an extra joint in there, if you ask me. And that isn't accounted for. You'd be well into your wrist bones, unless then they're claiming they like glued an extra joint in there. I don't know.
The debunkers that always say, "Oh, it's not real. They glue parts together." Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's been a huge comment made against this too. Is that people are just claiming, they just they're real mummies. It's real mummy parts, but they just took a bunch of them and basically
they got
5 times. They didn't do just 1; they did 5 of them. Think of that. Why wouldn't you stop at 1 or 2?
Right. Make it more believable.
If you're doing 5, you're just compounding your chance that somebody, and they handed them over to be evaluated by X-rays and stuff. You do 5. You're sitting there, you're just compounding your chances of you messing up, somebody noticing an extra glue glob, or someone didn't quite screw in the screw far enough to keep it together. You're running such a risk. So just the fact that there's 5 of them tells me that there might be something there.
Oh yeah.
Talk is cheap. It is. Yeah. Dan, what ticks me off a little bit sometimes, you get is some guy, I forget the guy's name, Joker, who's going to give all his money away. he had this video. It had all these hits on it, yet there was no evidence to support his opinion. He kind of described some things. He never did any comparisons.
It really wasn't in depth very well. I will say,
Murder Every Day T-shirt.
I mean, that's got 76,000 views.
but look at the thing that I always look at. Well, because this is a hot topic.
It's got more dislikes than likes. I will.
This is how people judge.
Yeah.
Because when I go to a video, I immediately look dislikes versus likes. You kind of get the whole synopsis of what.
Yeah. Because you're always going to get somebody to dislike. You're going to always find people that are going to like no matter what.
Oh, we got them on here
do.
as soon as I put up a video.
Oh yeah, yeah. 1 or 2 dislikes right away pop up within minutes, right?
So then YouTube was figuring out like how do we like fight against this. You know, they were thinking, should we take dislikes away? And it's like you can't really do that because then it's like. Then it's just all this positive SJW stuff where it's just like, oh,
yeah,
you
then
can't
just
talk negative.
Yeah, just take away the positives, then take away the negatives. But it is a good litmus test, right?
It's very
to
good.
see what people think. So unfortunately, this guy, he's gotten 80,000 or nearly 80,000 views on that video, and more people dislike it than like it. So. Okay, so I don't know how compelling that was, but he's not the only person to say that. Scientists have come out and said, oh, yeah, it looks like it's assembled and there's fake parts in there. But that was a while ago. That was, over a year ago he put out that video? I think, yeah. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he sure did. So as we continue digging, Dan, we found some more recent stuff.
We did. New tests prove Nazca mummies are of unique biological origin, according to released video. Now, this was, granted, the site's not official.
Yeah, and you're not going to get it endorsed by the National Institute of Education or Science and Technology or anything like that. So they tend not to touch this stuff other than to say it's fake.
So as we scroll down, let's break this down here. We got the test results released by researchers on November 19th regarding the mummified remains reportedly found near Peru's Nazca lines in 2015.
And the November 19th, 2018. So about 4 months ago by this air date.
Oh, so, yeah, when this article was published?
Yeah. So we've got I would say pretty fresh information here that's rebutting now what Captain Donation was saying.
Congress Hall of the Republic of Peru. Okay, this was presented in the Congress Hall, the Republic of Peru, and claimed to show that the mummies are a new or unknown species with a unique biological evolutionary origin distinct from that known in the human species or in any other. Quotes.
So they went with a press release in Peru on this. From what I understand, it lasted about 5 hours.
I don't know if I saw 5 hours.
I saw it on a different link as I was looking into that.
Okay.
So correct again. Let's hear it in the comments if I'm wrong on that. I'm pretty sure it was a 5-hour like press conference kind of deal, discussion on it.
Think you can handle that?
That'd be a long press conference.
So okay, some of the things breaking down here. DNA results confirm that the samples have no direct relationship with any organism similar to an animal known or described to date. Boom.
Okay, so the DNA. So we saw the video when we opened the show saying DNA studies need to be done. Well, the DNA studies are back. They held a press conference, and this is what they're saying.
Exactly.
I don't remember seeing that on any of the major news channels. Do you? We know that. Right? Funny,
no, that's the thing.
Funny how that works.
Something's real, they're going to cover it up, folks. They're not going to talk about it. You know, they're going to push the narrative that they want to push, of course. Everybody knows that with fake news. That's how it goes.
Yep.
So also here, the bones of the mummies are empty like those of birds, but very rigid like those of some dinosaurs. There's also a natural wear between joints and bones, demonstrating that the samples could not have been assembled, but belonged as a whole
because that was the big thing. All these scientists are saying, oh, there was taken from body parts that were looted and grave robbed and put together and then rolled out. 5 of them, not just 1, but 5. They decided they were going to do this with these hoaxers that I don't know how much money they made on it, if any. Maybe some of these scientists paid the people that found it, but.
They took Elmer's glue and they put these chicken bones together
and handed it off to scientists and said, "Go, I'm going to fool you." That's just so interesting. You know, I want to talk about the bone structure though a little bit. You know, we're familiar with dinosaurs, right? Millions and millions of years ago, they roamed the earth. The human species, human race has, well, this date changes, but several 100,000 years, I'll say, you know, us as like humans have been around and getting intelligent. Now, humans on this planet in what we know, the current contemporary form, have only been on this planet for a very small period of time. It took millions of years of evolution to get here. Now, I think we can agree that reptiles have been...
If you believe in evolution.
Yeah, right. Okay, if you believe in evolution. Yeah, and we'll hopefully start a debate in the comments about that. But allegedly, on this planet, hundreds of millions of years before even mammals, you know, got here, and much less humans, there were reptiles. So what's to say a reptilian race didn't evolve, go through very similar stuff that we're doing, maybe left the planet because they, you know, overpopulated or whatever happened, cataclysmic event, but then started coming back, and that's where we have a lot of these interactions. And maybe there's something to that the bone structure of something that we would consider alien would have more reptilian or dinosaur-like structures because... You know, look at humans. We're part of the primate family. And I can show you monkeys and chimps and orangutans. They're smart, but they don't achieve the level of intelligence. They're not out building cars and nuclear fusion and stuff. Mm-hmm. What's to say that hasn't happened in other species? What if there were intelligent reptiles that evolved just slightly different, right?
That's a good point.
The possibilities are. So anyway, seeing this description of the bones does not... it fits well with kind of how I think potentially things could have happened.
Exactly.
All right. I'm sorry, Dan. I side railed us there. But anyway, that's interesting. Something to think about, folks.
Perfect. Yeah, that was a good thing to bring up. And they also said here in this article, muscle, tendons, ligaments, and cartilages have a direct relationship between their positions and trajectory. So there you go.
And thus demonstrating their unique and unrepeatable organic authenticity. That's a pretty bold statement. Unrepeatable organic authenticity.
Exactly.
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 So what do you think, Pete, then?
Back on the fence with this one. I'm going to spend some more time looking into this. I would love to see the uncut, but translated, of course, version of the press release, the 5-hour one. Just sit down, watch it for 5 hours, hear what they say, hear the questions.
The fact that this has been out for, what, 3 months, you said now?
Yeah, going on 4 months, I think.
Why is it not in the news? Why is it all cut out? They want to keep people thinking that. They even hide these giant bones all the time, too, and they say,
there was just more reports of giant bones being found, too. That came out a few months ago. I remember seeing something go across my feed.
It wasn't the Thailand one, was it? Because I talked about that one on the other show.
I don't know
that one was fake.
I can't remember if it was or not, but I remember there was a big thing. People were sharing it on Facebook and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But I've read enough about that
to know that it's real and whatever.
Yeah, I don't
deal with it.
Yeah, unless something really like, you know, concrete is presented, I'll probably just skim over those, you know, because heck, in the area we live in, there were documented giant skeletons found as farmers were plowing up the crops as they were settling Wisconsin or plowing up the fields. It's frustrating that we have to
absolutely
even you know.
These were some of the other because they had, what did we say, 5 of these they found?
Yeah, and there were supposedly some babies. Those look awfully small compared to the ones that we were looking at.
And you look at those things like they look like kind of like gray aliens.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not even going to say they don't because it's...
Just look at the head alone. You know, and that's another interesting thing. You know, in Captain Donate, if it's proven, his video, you know, he showed a clip of all these mummified things pointing out the ears were shriveled and the nose were shrunk. None of them had a head like that. Look at how short and elongated that head is. You know, and look at the eyes.
Well,
in the front.
like he said, they took the head and slammed it in a book, or they didn't have books back then.
But look at how the eyes are out front. You know, the only thing you can do is say, oh, well, this was constructed and made. But then, if you were to believe the press release from 4 months ago, they just demonstrated it wasn't. So I'm personally, I'm going to do some more research into this. This is interesting, and I had dismissed it months ago, a year ago or more, as like, okay, this is probably a hoax. And now the needle's moved back towards the middle
like
for
a lot of things with these. Like I kind of thought, okay, Gaia has it. You know, they're all kind of somewhat about the truth. If there's something there, they'll explain it and have it be out. But now maybe they did, but you know, they got their own network, of course. But
yeah, and I'm not a subscriber. Are you?
No. I almost thought about subscribing, but then they got rid of Cosmic Disclosure. And
yeah, that was a good one.
Now I'll just go on there and maybe find the chicks in the yoga pants, but
they have that on Gaia.
They got yoga stuff on there.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I like yoga. Don't get me wrong. I like yoga, but let's stay in our lanes here when we're talking about this sort of stuff.
Yes, definitely. Ooh.
Oh, Jesus.
So, folks, you can let's put the voicemail number up in case you guys want to call in. That's 1-256-510-5234, 1-256-510-K2D4. Leave us a message. We'll play it on the show. Topic suggestion, we'll throw that in the list. I would like to try, and I've been trying to, I got to look up, try to see if there's anything I can do on the website or get a third-party HTML code or something. Something where I can like make our topic list public and make it so people can thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, good idea.
You know, then once they go to the top, we can actually like put emphasis on it. But I don't think that there's anything like code like that for HTML. I'll have to look at it. If anybody has anything, please put that in the description below. I'll look at that.
That would be kind of neat to get some. Then we can base it on interest and all that. And
Oh, yes.
we focus on the ones that people want to talk about. You know.
All right. Yeah, because obviously the big ones put to the top. I mean, at some point we got to kind of do what we're interested in too.
Oh yeah, I throw those in all the time. Sometimes I go off script and say, "Screw it, I'm going to do something that I want to do."
Because we had a lot that we had a bigger list actually, and we had so much that I went through and said, "Which ones are appealing to you guys?"
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
It down.
Yeah.
Because
we did do a scrub. It built up quick. We had years worth of topics, so we had to cull some out.
We couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
So I think with a rating system, it would definitely help. But with that being said, unless you got anything else you want to add, Pete?
No, other than, you know what? You ran that phone number. Folks, give us a call. We'd like to hear from you. It keeps the fire burning in us, and we'd like to hear from you. It's been a little quiet lately. But, heck, maybe people don't like us anymore, Dan.
And it only makes common sense.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I don't like myself much these days either, so...
Right. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us on Talk is Cheap. We know your time is precious. If you stayed this long, we really appreciate it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have that clip. But I'm Dan Hohlfeld, joined by Pete Halbleib. Talk is Cheap.